So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. As you know that our topic is morality and ethics in Quran. So, last time we discussed about the nature of morality and ethics in modern psychology and what Quran says. So today I would like to just show a conclusion again, and the same conclusion last time we already gone through, and then I would like to, I just added something also from Bible. So Bible is also basically supporting us in this way. So what Quran is saying about the nature of this morality, that this is a part of our nature, this is part of our fitrat, and fitrat means that we have additional morality, additional quality we are given to inclination and tendency towards goodness. So, but psychologists, we have already mentioned about Piaget theory, and then he says that no, only human has a potential for goodness and badness. So you can do good, you can do bad. And then environment is basically making you. Environment, so when you are engaged in your external world and social matters, then it is affecting you. So it makes no difference basically. For example, if you believe in fitrat or if you believe in potential only, again, the environment and social aspect is always playing a significant role in determining our morality. So because it depends upon the environment and surroundings, so you are growing up and you are living in. So if surroundings and environment is good, then it will be helpful for you, so you will be moral person, you will be ethical. But if surrounding and your friendship and your environment is not good, then it means that you will have a difficulty to have a morality and ethics. So let's see again conclusion previous lecture. So I will again see the viewpoint of the Quran clearly contrast with the modern psychologist and philosophers' approach on the nature of morality. Is it clear? So, and then we said the Quran and the Bible emphasize on the additional moral and spiritual tendency in the human's creature. The main objective of all jurisprudential and theological laws in Islam is to attain the higher levels of morality, purification, and spiritual development. So this is the ultimate objective. Why we emphasize on morality and ethics? Because morality and ethics is ultimate objective of our fiqh and theology. If we are supposed to know aqaid or tawheed, and we must be well aware of prophethood and day of judgment and everything which is related to our intellectual aspect and our wisdom or logical aspect or philosophical aspect, then what is the ultimate objective is to develop ourselves, to purify ourselves. If our theology, our aqaid are not affecting our soul, affecting ourselves, developing us, then it means that this may be useless or we have to work on it. So let's see Quran and Bible. So last time we have already gone through this Quranic verse when it is asked from the Prophet Musa, who is your Rabb? He replied, our Lord is the one who gave everything its due shape, then guided it. So this Quranic verse is, Man Rabbukuma? Then he answered, Rabbuna alladhi a'ta kulla shay'in, and then Summa hada. But there are two things. One is guidance and one is creation. So after creation, so God has placed something extra or additional, which is basically our moral tendency towards goodness and towards not towards badness. So now just see, this is what Bible says. Bible is also saying the same, that we have nature, we have fitrat, we have inclination, we have tendency towards goodness. So Bible says, indeed, when Gentiles, in bracket people of the nations, who do not have the law, do by nature things required by the law, they are a law for themselves, since they show that the requirements of the law are written on their hearts. Just see, for example, if you have law, it's okay, you have to obey the law. If you have fiqh, but if you don't have this law, then you have law in your nature, in your heart. So then you don't need any other law. So you should obey what is your nature is saying, basically. So again, their consciences also bearing witness, and their thoughts now accusing, now even defending them. Sometimes, what we say in our language, in Arabic and Persian, there are different levels of nafs. One is when nafs is accusing you. Which is this level? Anyone knows? This is nafsul lawama. So, okay, this nafsul lawama is basically accusing you. So I think they are also mentioning the same thing, and now even defending them. But another level is there, when your nafs is defending, so you are becoming habitual sometime. So in the beginning, you are not comfortable with bad actions, with immorality, but with the passage of time and gradually, so you will be familiar, you will become manus, and then your nafs is also with you at this time. So now, this is what Bible is saying. So I just wanted to add Bible also, that this is not from the Quranic viewpoint, but Bible is also saying the same. Now, moral obligation in the West. This is very important issue and very important another aspect of morality and ethics. My question is that, for example, that when we can say that this is moral obligation, when we can say that this is our responsibility to act morally, so there is a criteria and there is a standard where we can say that this is the morality or this is moral obligation. Wazifa-e akhlaqi. But moral obligation is wazifa-e akhlaqi. How we can determine that this is our moral obligation, and what's going on in Western countries. This is, I'm not saying this, but I'm quoting this from the very, very important book from Cultural Psychology written by Hein. So this is the book of the part of the course here in cultural psychology. So what they are saying themselves, that when we can say moral obligation, so just see, moral obligation has two criteria. Both criteria must be present. So for example, if you want to determine that whether this is your wazifa akhlaqi, this is your moral obligation or not, or maybe we can say this is your personal choice. For example, this is not your moral duty, this is not your wazifa, but this is not your mas'uliyat akhlaqi, but this is only your personal choice. You want to do it and you don't. But if you say that it is your moral duty, then it means that your nature also emphasizes on you and says to you that you have to do this. Because morality, we should obey morality. We should be a moral person, because this is ultimate objective. So this is why this issue is very, very important here in Western countries especially, and how we can relate it with Quran and Bible. What Quran is saying in this regard and what Islam is saying also. So there are two criteria. If two criteria are there, then you can say that there is a moral obligation. If two criteria are not there, then you cannot say that you have moral obligation. Now see, first criteria, there should be no rule to enforce you if you want to act in a certain way. For example, if you don't have law, if you don't have qanun, okay? So if qanun is there, if law is there, then you have to obey your law. So this is nothing to do with morality. So law should not be there. This is the first criteria. If law is there, then you don't have any choice, you don't have any option. You have to obey your law, otherwise you will be punished. So first criteria is there should not be a law. Second, uh, second possibility of legislation to act morally, meaning that people should be preventing from engaging in an act or punished for the certain act. The second criteria, which is very important, is that it should be able to become law. This is very, sometimes there is an action, you want to do something morally, but you think that this is very small issue, this is not a big issue. Then you will say, oh, this is nothing to do with me, because you understand that it cannot become law. So there should be two criteria. One, there should not be law which is enforcing you. Second, when you want to determine your action, whether it is should be akhlaqi, moral or not, then you should evaluate the situation. If you see that yes, this is very important issue, and people generally they emphasize us that not to do this, prevent yourself, keep yourself away from this issue, and if you will do, you should be punished, you deserve to be punished. Deserve to be punished means you will have istihqaq. जब वैसे istihqaq has, वैसे deserve, and you are deserved to be punished. But law is not there, but it can become a law. So now we have two criteria here for to say something that it is a moral obligation. Now my comments here, let's see. First, this kind of approach is based on the possibility of legislation of certain act. First of all, when you say that this is a moral obligation, it means that there is a possibility of becoming law. So we have already mentioned and we have seen. And next thing is, if there is an act which does not have potential to become a law, then there will not be a moral obligation to restrain ourselves from a certain act. However, if we engage in a certain act, then the act will be classified as a personal choice, not as a moral violation. So if, for example, you want to help someone, or if you want to, there is a moral issue, so I will see the example also. So then you will see that it cannot become law. It is not a big issue. So then it is your personal choice. For example, you want to pay my respect, to respect your teacher. You know that in Asian countries, in Pakistan, in India, in Iran, there is a lot of respect of teacher, of professor. And you cannot compare with this society. And here you will see that there is no respect and they have equal status. Students, how they are dealing with their teachers. So now, for example, so I will say whether you have to respect your teacher or not. Then you will say, oh, if I am not going to respect him, this cannot become law. Because if you see that, no, this is a very important issue, tomorrow it can become law that you have to respect your teacher, then this can be a moral obligation or moral action. Otherwise, if you say, no, this is my personal choice, it is up to me whether I should respect my teacher or I should not respect my teacher. So this is what is important, and this kind of approach does not help us in creating moral society. So the issue is that now, for example, if you don't care about small issues at lower stages and status, then you cannot create a moral society. This is my personal viewpoint basically. I don't know that anyone discussed this issue. I am just combining for you, just showing that what is happening in Western countries, what Quran is saying, even what I am saying here, maybe this is my own interpretation from Quran. So you have to think yourself. So we are just going to present something. So in my view, if even I talk to my teachers and professors also, and they accepted my viewpoint, and they said, yes, this is what this is happening. So the new generation, so they don't care so many things. So today I would like to read one text, and then you will also see. So I brought the copies also. So then you will be able to understand in a better way. Just add this. So we will read this. Okay, now the comments are, it seems that because of this kind of interpretation, we have lack of motivation in the society to act morally in certain situations, because at every situation we always see the possibility of legislation to act morally, while we know that there are specific moral or social criteria to legitimate something. So you cannot always make a law. It is not possible. So when you want to see that whether it is we can make it law or not, so then we will say that, oh, this would be a moral issue for us. Otherwise, no, we don't care. So there are several places in our social interaction when we need to feel our moral duty to act accordingly. But we do not care it because we know that it does not have a potential to become law. Although we may act as a personal choice, but it would not be considered moral obligation. On the other hand, there are several obligations which are based on the moral values, but we do it because of fear of law. This is also very important issue. Please pay attention that sometimes we are doing something, doing good, but this is because we have a fear of law. For example, if we are racist, we are not allowed to show our racism, but we are doing because of we are not doing this because of fear of law, so we will be punished. So these things are also happening. So we are always law oriented. So here you see that, for example, although we may act as a personal choice, on the other hand, there are several obligations which are based on the moral values, but we do it because of fear of law. For example, if we rise from our seat in the bus, now this example is very important, and allow elders to sit there, this is because we know that law enforces us to do so. This is happening in the buses. So if you are not going to rise up from your seat, then you are doing violation basically. So this is a part of the law. So for example, if you go to some other countries, so you will see that people are giving the seats for elders. So why? Because they are respecting them, not because of law. But here you have a law. You have to do this. So now it means we do not feel any personal respect for elders. But if, for example, people feel their moral duty to pay respect to the elders and vacate their seats for them, then we will notice that apparent act is same, but inner and spiritual feelings are different. In law-oriented morality, if we are not racist, if we do not disrespect others, if we do not discriminate someone, and we are bound to respect the rights of others, this is because of fear of law and punishment. As a result, if we are able to get round the law, or we are confident that we will not be caught, then we do not feel any moral and spiritual obligation to respect the rights of others. So for example, if you are able to get round the law, you can do something that you are not going to be caught, then it is okay, you will do. And this is happening in different societies. You know very well that law is important for them. So the morality is based now on, for example, laws, and then if there is no law, then it's okay. So moral obligation should be based on self-purification and spiritual development. This is what I would like to emphasize here. Now there are two different criteria. One is, I am nothing to do with law. If I am doing good with you, then this is because of my personal development. This is because of my my purification, my refinement of my heart. So this is, if the morality is based on your self-development, then it is important. But I am saying the criteria should be personal development. And this is what Quran is also saying. This is what Bible is also saying. Both books are emphasizing on your personal development, your tazkiyah nafs. So this is a morality. This is not morality that it should be able to become law or it is law. It is okay, but you cannot become a moral person. I will give you an example, for example, elders. So if you are paying respect to your elders because of law, then it is okay. But one thing I would like to mention, that I doesn't mean here, I don't want to say that there should not be law. Law should be there. It is very important. The source of law is morality and ethics and spirituality. So I am not against the law. Law is very good. But I am saying to you that there are so many places where there is not an issue of law. Everyone should be responsible and understand that I am answerable and accountable before God. And I have to develop myself. I have to purify myself. I have to refine myself so that I will be able to achieve my ultimate objective. So then if we believe in the day of judgment, then it can be a very powerful motivation to develop ourselves spiritually. But if we do not believe in the hereafter, then again our objective should be to become perfect human being and to achieve the higher levels of humanity. Now you may ask this question, okay, why we should have this personal development? What is the effect of this development and refinement and purification? So when we say no, if you believe in God, then you are answerable, you have day of judgment, you will be punished, and you have Quran and saying that the more you are purified, the more you will be given reward. So, but if you say that, okay, this is okay for us because we are Muslim, for example, or we are Christian, but those who don't believe in God, so what you will say about them? So we have also last lecture, we also mentioned this issue, the same thing. Again, the humanity is again very important. This can be a motivation for us to develop ourselves, to be a good human because of our fitrat and because of our nature. So self-purification and refinement of heart can play a very important role in our social interaction, even if there is no possibility of legislation. In addition, if we feel moral obligation because of our self-development and purification, then this trait will also be helpful at several other places, meaning that it will not be confined to a specific situation. I will just explain this last sentence, that for example, if you are paying respect to your elders in the bus, for example, so again, if you are doing this because of your moral development, personal development or spiritual development, then you have achieved, you have gained a specific quality, and you have basically developed yourself, and this is affecting other places also, because you have elder parents, so you are already facing and you have interaction with elders in the society, so you have already built yourself from inside, you have developed yourself because you have become good human. But if you see that someone is there, is old, then you don't care because there is no law at all to enforce you. So this is what I would like to mention, that this is very important to know in this regard. And again, now morality and self-development. According to the Quran, moral obligation or moral act should be related to our self-development. Now I am going to bring some Quranic verses and from Bible, so that we will be able to understand that how much self-development is important for Quran. The Quran says, I did not create the jinn and the humans except that they may worship me. Hope you know this Quranic verse. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. So ibadat is basically an objective of our creation. So if we are created, this is because of ubudiyat, because of worship. So why we need worship? Because to close to Allah. We want to taqarrub ilallah. So this is the ultimate objective. So that according to Quran, self-development and personal development is again very important. I will give you one example also. If you see the fruit, when fruit is unripe, so you see that there is no color, there is no good smell, there is no taste. But if you see that fruit is fully ripe, so you will see that everything is changed. So now my question is that this fruit is, when it is unripe, so it moves toward its perfection. But this movement and this motion is not external. This is internal. This is inner motion and inner movement. So we are the same. So we have soul, we have ruh, and we have nafs, and we have to achieve these higher levels of perfection, as we see in the example of one fruit. And this is inner travel, basically, journey. Not this is external journey. When Quran is saying that you will ultimately meet your God. You are going towards your God. Whether you are unbeliever or you are Muslim. But in both cases, you will ultimately meet your God. But this is not a journey like we are traveling on bus or car. This is, everything is spiritual. This is spiritual journey. We have to change ourselves and we have to develop ourselves. So again you see the Quran says it is He who created for you all that is in the earth. So especially in Iran, you are well aware of this thing, that several times we are discussing this issue, that each and everything in this universe is created for human. So human is a centered value basically in the universe. So everything is for the sake of human, and human is for the sake of just closeness to Allah and purification, development, worship and ubudiyat, whatever you can say. So now submissiveness is very important. So everything in this universe is created only and only for human being, and to take lesson from everything. Why Quran is saying that there are my signs, ayat-e-ilahi, alamat. So people are not able to see my signs, my ayat. So it is very important for us to take lesson from them. And we are able to take lesson, then we can understand that there is a creator, and then we may be well aware of God or a prophethood or whatever it is. Morality and self-development. Again, now see, then God said, let us make men in our image. This is from Bible. So just say this is a very beautiful verse in Bible, and then we have also a hadith in this regard. Not same words. What is in Arabic? Khalaqallahu insan ala suratihi. That God created human on His image, on His face. So this is what Bible is saying. Let us make man in our image, in our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air, over the livestock, over all the earth, and over all the creatures that move along the ground. So this is what Bible is saying. So Allah is saying that I created you on my image. My qualities, I want to see my qualities in you as a human. I want to see the manifestation of my qualities. If I am wise, if I am all-knowing, if I am merciful, my mercy, my generosity, my grace, my hikmat, my patience, my thankfulness, everything should be manifested in you. You have to demonstrate my attributes. And what we say in Persian, asma sifat ilahi, yani insan mazhar asma sifat ilahi. वबायत इन अस्माओ सिफात इलाही दर इंसान zuhur पैदा हो, in zuhur asma kalima. So these attributes are, and we have this in Bible, and what Quran says, nafakhtu fihe min ruhi. So I basically this inspired my soul to human. So our soul is, our ruh is basically from the ruh of God. So the same thing is we can see here. Again, the Quran says, he will indeed be successful who purifies it, and he will indeed fail who corrupts it. What is this Quranic verse? Who can? Very, very famous Quranic. قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها. Okay, this is the main message of today's lecture. Now, this Quranic verse is saying something new, something very important. This I didn't see any other place. And one of renowned religious scholar in Iran, Ayatollah Taqi Misbah, he also mentioned this point under this Quranic verse. He says the Quran is saying that qad afla man zakka, that if you purify yourself, then you will be successful. And if you are not doing this, then you are destructing yourself. So you have only two ways. You don't have any option. This is the most important issue in morality in Quran. And whole morality of Quran is based on this issue. And this is also very much related to the theories of Mullah Sadra, transcendental philosophy. So I'm not discussing this philosophy of Mullah Sadra, but this Quranic verse says that sometimes, we have three options. Either we do this or that, or we can do something else. But here Quran is saying that you have only two ways. Whatever you are doing, your actions, even whatever you are thinking, whatever you are imagining, whatever you are feeling, your feelings, your thoughts, your actions, your deeds, everything is affecting on you, and you are either going towards perfection or you are going towards your destruction. You are destructing yourself or you are developing yourself toward purification or perfection. So this is what Quran is saying. So for example, if you are just sitting, you are doing nothing. Again, you are thinking something. Now your thinking is affecting your soul. This is a main issue in Quran. So if you have this kind of perception and worldview, then I think that this can be very helpful for us. That we must be very careful, because our soul and our spiritual aspect is becoming affected by our thinkings and our actions and our feelings and whatever we are doing. So this is what Quran is saying, that you have only two ways. The Quran says, whoever exceeds the limits prescribed by God wrongs his own self. So this is qad khaba man dassa. Now this conclusion. To create and establish the moral society, moral obligation should be based on self-development. Number one. Two, law-oriented morality can be due to the fear of law, meaning that if there is no fear of law, then one can violate. Third, moral obligation or morality should be based on self-purification. And the last one, our actions, thoughts and feelings either develop ourselves or cause destruction of our soul. Thank you very much. Okay. Question?
So I just have a quick question. How do you categorize the belief in the Day of Judgment? Is it part of the self-purification, or is it fear of law?
Yes, this is a good question, but this can be because fear of law. But this is why if you see this Day of Judgment in the light of fear of law, then it is okay. It is also affecting, and then you are purifying yourself at some extent. But this is not the highest level of purification. Okay, so this is why Hazrat Ali alayhi salam says that I am worshipping not for the fear of Jahannam and not for the greediness of Bahish, only for the sake of God. So Quran also mentioning some. This is the issue of our preaching system. I would say exactly to you that sometimes we are always trying to frightening our people from Jahannam, because there are two aspects. One aspect is the mercy of God, rahmat of God, and one is He is also muntaqim. So He is taking revenge from us. He is punishing us. So sometimes we are focusing on one aspect and we are ignoring other aspect. So we should balance ourselves. This is very important, and this is issue of our preaching style or whatever it is. But here I wanted to say basically that if you have day of judgment, at least you know that you are answerable, you are accountable, and in the day of judgment, the criteria will be your development, how much you have developed yourself. Your ruh and your nafs will be important. And Quran, in some places, when Quran says that be care of your soul and your nafs, anfusakum. So this is why Quran is saying that you have to be careful. You have to know what you are doing with yourself, because you are answerable. So this is why I just mentioned this issue. But again, it is very difficult. So if you don't believe in God, don't believe in day of judgment, then which will motivate you? It is difficult to, how you can say that you must develop yourself. Because law is only important for you. If you are able to get around the law, if you are able to, for example, understand that nobody can see you and you can do something that you are not going to be punished, then it is good for you. But again, in Quran saying that you have fitrah, this is why we are talking about fitrah. But the issue is there that if you don't believe in God, it's difficult to define that you need development or whatever it is.
A question. Like you basically focus on a point. You said the morality should come from self-purification and not just because we want to follow the law. But at the same time, we have some Islamic laws, right? And some Muslims actually follow the Islamic laws, although they might not agree with it or they don't understand it. So,
yeah, this is basically this is the lowest stage. This is what I was saying, that law is important. This is related to fiqh. For example, if you see the prayer, so you know that inna salata tanha anil fuhsha wal munkar. So one aspect is fiqh. It is wajib on you to pray. But other aspect is this is related to akhlaq, related to morality. That this prayer should prevent you from doing bad anything. So, but if even the minimum level is there, it is okay. But this is the least level. This is the most minimum level. So, but this is not the everything. The main thing is that you are worshipping Allah not because of fear of law, because you love your God. Even you can imagine yourself. Sometimes you have your friends. So there are different categories. Sometimes you love someone in your life, whether your mother, your sister, your wife, or whatever it is. So you want to do something for the sake of him, not for the sake of any reward. So we have these examples in our life. Several times it is happening with me. I have so many friends that it is my, for example, pleasure to do something for them, for the sake of them, not for any reward. The same thing is we should see in the context of God when we are praying. So law is there, but if you are doing this because of law, then there is no change. From the beginning you are praying 5 times. But my question is that most of the people in Muslim societies, so they are very punctual. They are praying, they are fasting, they are going for Hajj, but there is no inner change. Why? Because only they obey the law, because they know that we have to pray. But why it is not affecting you? It is not developing you. It is not making you human. Why you don't have awareness? So this is why I remember that Ayatollah Jawadi Amli, one of the most important philosopher now in Iran, he says that ikhlas is the second stage, but the higher stage is your marifat, your awareness. So your ikhlas is not ever. If you go to see Taliban in Pakistan, so it will be very interesting for you. So you cannot pray like them. They are more punctual than you. They are fasting better than you, everything. But if you talk to them, so you will see what's going on. Understand what I'm saying? So again, marifat and development, this is very important issue. If you are static, this is a static aspect. Fiqh aspect is static. Means that all over your life, you can just pray and you can, when Quran says that, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, kutiba alaykumus siyam, kama kutiba alladhina min qablikum, la'allakum tattaqoon. So one aspect is related to taqwa, yani your righteousness, and one aspect is related to your fasting. So if you want to see about fasting, you will see the Risale Amaliya and Tawzihul Masail, and you will see that what are the mubtilat of Saum, and about the prayer also. But if you want to see morally, you will not find anything in the Risale Amaliya and fiqh and jurisprudential aspect. So this is why it is very important for us to understand that what is morality and what is fiqh and law. So this.
So can we do purification, spiritual purification, without any performing like the obligations that the religion will force the people to do? Can we get to that higher level of purification?
You can do this. It's okay, but you are given minimum these laws. You have to obey this. This is only for purification. This is the lowest level. But as a whole, if you are not Muslim, for example, so there are so many ways you can go for this. But you can be deviated from the right path. It is not. It is really, if you think on this, that the system of ibadat is very, very important to keep you on the right path. This is the most minimum level. If you leave this, you will have some, because we have Sufia, we have Urafa, maybe they are not praying. So we are saying that they have deviated from the right path or whatever it is. But kind of purification is possible, again I will say. And it is now up to God how He will deal with them, these kind of people. But we believe that the system of ibadat is the first step for the purification. So if we leave it behind, then it would be difficult for us.
So it means they are necessary but not sufficient, right?
Yeah, this is necessary but not kafi needs. Yani lazim has amma kafi needs.
Right.
हम फलसफे में की बात.
So can we say, for example, these laws, for example, is just to protect us? For example, I'm a practicing Muslim. I pray and fast and I'm doing my ibadah or whatever. But on the other hand, there are some Muslims who might affect me, who might hurt me. So these laws to protect me, so I can focus on my other parts, the moral part. Can we say that as an example, for example?
You mean, for example, I couldn't understand how other people, they are affecting you.
For example, like someone might come and hit me, someone might come and drink before me or do some action that hurts me. So maybe the law there is to protect me from seeing these actions. And then I can focus on my ibadah. Is it maybe we can justify
but it
this
is
way?
related to what you are getting from your prayers, and this again moral aspect is important.
Right.
What is the meaning of taqwa, and what is the meaning of righteousness? So taqwa, what you are getting taqwa from your namaz.
Right.
This taqwa is helping you and preventing you from these kind of people. What is taqwa is in Arabic and Persian siyanat. Siyanat-e-nafs yani nigahdaashtan-e-nafs. Yani this is important, that you have protected yourself, just like vaccination. So you are protecting yourself with taqwa. So if you are praying, you are fasting, so basically the Quran is saying la'allakum tattaqun. Why Quran is saying maybe you become righteous person? Why Quran is saying definitely you will become righteous person? Because Quran basically going to give us this very important message, that maybe you are fasting, but you are not becoming a righteous person. So we have to relate this issue also. This is that what very good he said that lazim has, but kafi needs. You understand Persian? This this is necessary, but not enough. So we need to do more. This is at first step. It is very important, but you have to do more. So in the Muslim society, we don't focus on this moral aspect of the ibadat. This is why you know that we have lot of books. Even if you see from Hazrat Imam Khomeini, Adabus Salat, Sirrus Salat, Hikmat al-Ibadat, all these books are basically emphasizing on the spiritual aspect of our worships, the system of worship.
So, following up on this question, that he asked for the role of rules or Sharia, if I may say, in the spiritual development. In Quran we have Fastaqim kama umirt, obey me as I told you. So is it possible to think that we can achieve spiritual development without these boundaries that God has put for us? So if, for example, give an example. One person may think that instead of praying salat, do something else, he gets more development in his spiritual. Can we imagine this kind of situation that...
Yeah, this is what I would like to mention that, you know, the system of fiqh is not personal issue. If you see this at personal level, then you may say, oh, I can do it without prayer. I can do this development without anything else. So I have some other ways. But you know, there should be a system in the society. You are not alone. This is why Quran says, Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Why word plural is used? This is very important. Why word singular is not used here? Because you have to develop yourself in the divine society. You cannot do yourself. So Quran is also mentioning this is a system for whole society. Secondly, for example, if someone is there and says that I don't believe in Quran, I don't believe in prayer, and there are, maybe he's Muslim also, he's believing that I am Muslim, but he is able to purify himself, develop himself, he is more close to God than us, then we cannot decide here in this world. Only and only it is up to the God how he deals with these kind of people. So we can only see in this system and in this context. But possibility is there. There is a very beautiful Quranic verse. I don't know, in Surah An'am, I will next week or next time, I will show you this Quranic verse. This is very important. Why it is important? When I was in Pakistan, I used to participate in different television programs and talks. There were topmost Sunni scholars, and I also used to participate in about the issue of mysticism, irfan. So they were against irfan. Most of the scholars, they are against irfan. And what they are saying, they say that this is against the way of Quran, against the system of ibadat, irfan. So how we can verify our irfan on Quran and some other things? So we have a very beautiful Quranic verse. I will mention next time. Quran says at 1,400 years before that these Christians, they were, the word zuhud is used or something else, and they were doing ibadah, and we did not, you know this Quranic verse?
I don't remember.
This is very important.
It is
But
about Baniyat, right?
we acknowledge this. We ratify this. We accept this. Even we did not say them to do this, but they did this in my way. But I accept it. So it means that again, if you are doing all the things, and if you have your, for example, you are establishing your own spiritual system besides these worships, then maybe this may be acceptable. It's okay. But if there are two ways that you have established your own system, or for example, no, you are just ignoring prayer and Hajj and Zakat, then it is very difficult. Being a Muslim, it is very difficult to say, but it is up to God that how He will deal with you. We can't say anything about the Day of Judgment. This is theological issue and very interesting also about the pluralism and about the salvation, the issue of Najat, who will be salvaged.
I think the problem comes from the difference in the definition of the purification. Could you tell us the exact definition of the purification? The purification is just you have to do everything for God, or you have to obey God's order, and you have to obey the Sharia, or you have to do everything just for God.
Yeah.
What's the exact definition of purification?
I think it is very difficult to give the very specific definition for purification, or you have to understand. For example, if we ask this question from me, then you have to see the whole system. You have system of your intellect, aqaid, you have system of your amal, for example fiqh, and you have a system of your morality and moral issues. So Quran mentioned so many moral aspects. These moral aspects are also spiritually guiding you spiritually, that which kind of person you need to become. So understand? So and then the attributes of God, asma sifat ilahi, they are also helping you. That sometimes you need to be a merciful, you need to be forgive others, you need to be a thankful to others. So you need to be a generous person. Generosity is very important. So asma sifat ilahi is also helping you. Some moral values and moral issues are also helping you to determine what is the meaning of purification.
But in philosophical point of view, can you purify yourself without Quran, for example, or without Hadith?
Without Quran?
Yes.
I think it depends upon the levels. You know, at certain level you can do this. You understand? Purification is because so many things are related to your nature. Because Quran and your wisdom and your heart is same. There is no difference. If you go deep, there is a very beautiful book of Ayatollah Hassan Zada Amli, one of the great scholar in Iran. He's mystic person. That Quran wa Burhan wa Shuhud azham judai nadaran.
What's the name of the book?
This Ayatollah Hassan Zada Amli.
The name of
This is the name of book I'm saying.
Oh,
Quran I forgot. Understand? Yeah. So these three things are same. Ultimately, their level is same. But sometimes your akal is leading you towards Quran, and then your heart is also leading the same way. Quran is also leading the same way. Sometimes you are able to reach this level without Quran, but you know, it is not a personal issue. If we are talking about the society, so if you obey, for example, this is my personal viewpoint. I mean that I understand that it is very difficult. My understanding of Quran and religious books tell me that it is very difficult to get the higher levels of purification. You can get certain levels, but higher levels are not possible. Very difficult without Quran. Without the helping of Quran, not only Quran, the teachings of Anbiya and Prophets. It's very important. You know, sorry, one thing is also important. Motivation is very important. Sometimes you know, you understand something, but when you say that Quran is saying to you, Prophet Muhammad is saying to you, then it is motivating you. The issue of motivation is very, very important in this regard. Because if you are a philosopher, then you will not care so many things. So it is difficult for you. But if you are a religious person, you believe in God, then it is motivating you also. So motivation is that.
So, yeah. For example, I want to purify myself, and I have two options: either to live, let's say, in a Muslim society that, for example, observe the Islamic law, or in a Western society. Do you think like purification would be different? like if I live in a Western community and compared to someone who lives, same person but lives in a Muslim society, would be different. I'm not saying I'm isolating myself. I go out, I see things that I'm maybe disturb my mind. Do you think would be different?
I think purification in itself is not different. But for example, if you are living in immoral society, for example, then it will be more difficult for you and more rewardable also. So if you are in, for example, if you are in Qom, if you are in Iran and you are doing purification and you are not committing sin or whatever it is, so because you cannot do so many things, but here you can do a lot, then I would just say that the levels of purification are same wherever you are. But the issue is it would be very difficult for you to achieve these levels in some societies, and in some societies it would be more easy. But this is not an issue of purification. Again, then there is need of marifat and intellectual approach. And again, this is also related. Maybe there is someone in your country who is saying this is not related to purification, and then your approach is different, your aqaid is different. If because you are in Canada, because you are in, for example, in America, so you have different kind of understanding. So, but the same understanding others are not accepting. They're saying that if you have this kind of approach, then this will against your purification. But you will say, no, this is okay for me, I understand. So this can be different.
I think the environment is effective, but it's not the main effective thing, because the أعد عدوك نفسك بين جنبيك. Because the أعد عدوك is shaitan and your nafs, not the environment. But the environment is effective, but not main effective thing.
But it can like disturb your mind. Like I'm supposed to stand and pray before God, and something else.
No, this is
Yes, but
theologically
when
this
you
is
are-
very important issue. Just I would say now the latest psychology, and they have also proved this. The effect of environment and culture is very, very strong.
Mhm.
Very strong. My question from you, all of you, if you are Muslim, if you are, for example, Shia, this is really because you believe that Islam is the best religion in the world, or because you born in Muslim family, you born in, for example, in Shia family, not you are Shia or Muslim. This is both. No, don't talk about yourself, or you may be. But I would like to say, I would say, my experience, this tells me that 95% of our Muslim community, whether Sunni, Shia, whatever it is, they are because of their environment and because of their parents. If we were born in Christian family, in Jewish family, might be we were Jews now. So the issue is that how much, this is why environment is very important. And now let me say, for example, you are not able to do purified yourself. Then because of this environment, then again, because this is not our theological class, because I will teach it in theology, that then this is up to God. He will evaluate that how much you had your willpower, how much you were able to resist, and how much able to you had this option in front of you. Then he will decide about yourself. So this may be important.
I think the media doesn't allow to other person in Western country to think about God or something. I know, but the environment is very effective. But I think that you are able to rescue yourself in this media as well, because God gave you everything that you need to rescue yourself in media or any environment. But yes, the environment is effective. You can be faster when you are in home, for example, but when you are here, your work is very difficult.
Yeah, but if you are, for example, if you are in home, then you will have some other issues.
Exactly.
These issues are again very dangerous. Then you may have special mentality about everything, and then I don't want to go in detail because the issues are everywhere. But I would say, for example, like in this society now, when I see this new generation, so do you think that this environment is helping your generation in spirituality?
Here,
Yeah.
No.
So you have internet, you have everything has opened now. This is the age of what says this psychologist. This is the age of disconnection. They don't know your kids and parents, they don't have any relation with them. So this is not helpful for spirituality.
No.
And this is why we are, the most problematic issue is for in front of us, that we are associated with Islamic centers, how to address our youth, how to address our kids. It has become very difficult for us, really, even for our kids, because environment is totally affecting them. And several times I have talked at higher levels education here, that we need in schools, school system should be compatible to the family system also. And then there should be a class of morality in schools. This should be the part of curriculum. If you are not going to teach your students morality and ethics, then this will be dangerous. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Oh.
Allahumma
Please keep
salli ala
these
Muhammad.
papers, so I will further also just